Welcome to Simply Liminal. My name is Stacy. This is my daily two-card reading for Sunday, April 21st, 2024. I can't believe we are almost 3 weeks into this month. It's going fast. It always goes fast, but it really does seem to go faster all the time. Like, I feel like it was just January, and I'm glad it's not January anymore because it was crappy and cold where I live. But, and I love winter, but I'm ready for the spring and summerish weather that's coming. So this week we are working with the Good Tarot. It's an oracle deck. It's based on tarot cards, but it's an oracle deck written by Colette Baron Reed. She wrote this deck, I don't know, 7-ish years ago, something like that. 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, I don't know. Time is funny. We were just talking about that. And I didn't get it, but right when it first came out, but I did get it. It's probably been 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I can't remember. I have had an interest in tarot for 30 years. That's probably the first time I ever got my hands on a tarot deck. I knew what tarot decks were before then, but I just never had the opportunity. And that was the first time I really got to experiment with the tarot deck. And I found it very interesting, but kind of intimidating. It's a lot of cards. The artwork can be overwhelming. The messages can be overwhelming, depending on who is your teacher or what information you're getting. People could be like, no, that's not what that card means, or that's not what that card means, or that card means something different if it's inverted, or yeah, if that's inverted, but this one next to it is upright, it completely changes the meaning, which can make tarot intimidating just to read them. And sometimes just looking at the cards can be a little bit overwhelming as well. Certain cards always make people kind of tighten up a little bit, like the Death card, for instance. When that comes up, can be overwhelming. The Devil card is another one. Colette has renamed those. The Death card is now the Transformation card, because really that's what it means in tarot. It's not about a physical death. It's about like a spiritual death or an ending, but then a new beginning. And then the Devil she calls temptation, because that's what that card is. It's telling us to think about the things that tempt us and what leads us where we are at and why we get there. That's kind of what that means. Like, for me, the card that always makes me tighten up when I flip it over is the Ten of Swords. That card always just makes me feel so like, crap. Here's the dude laying on the ground with 10 swords in his back. What could that possibly mean for me today? Anyway, so she's done a little bit. What she says is she wrote this deck deciding on doing it with tarot principles, but reading like an oracle deck, but using modern positive psychology. A little bit more of a positive outlook on it, because sometimes the tarot can be a little bit scary feeling, I guess. Not negative, but just a little scary and overwhelming. So anyway, this is a beautiful deck. I've worked with it for several years now. At least 2, maybe 3. I don't know. Time is funny. It is 78 cards, just like a regular tarot deck. So it's a big deck because it's like oracle card size. You can kind of see it in comparison to my hands. So sometimes I struggle to shuffle a little bit. As always, I open a circle of light and love and protection for myself that extends to everyone watching this reading, no matter when it is. Oh, see, here's the kind of shuffle that I'm talking about, struggling with. No matter when it is that you watch it, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, or next year, or God willing, 10 years from now, I believe that when you see this reading, there is a message for you in it. I connect with readings that are older all the time. Just a week and a half ago, I seen a reading from Stuart Pierce that he had done a year ago, but it connected with me so strongly that I don't know that it would have meant the same thing to me if I would have seen it a year ago, but a week and a half ago, it blew my socks off. It was the message that I needed. Anyway, so as always, we look at the energy. We do a 2-card reading for these daily readings. It's kind of a shiny deck. So we do a 2-card reading where I look at the energy of the day. Oop. Little unwieldy, which is the force that's directed towards us from the universe, our environment around us, whether it's our mystical environment, whether it's the universe, the solar system. Sometimes it's just our small environment, like the people we run into at the grocery store or our work people, And then the other card I look at is the focus, which is our intention, our effort, or our response that we put into that energy. Because ultimately we're co-creating here. We get energy, but then we have a choice in how we work with it and how we allow that to move our days forward, or if we make a different choice sometimes where we just become stagnant, or we shift and sit, or we even go backwards. So anyways, I will read from the deck or from the book as Colette intended, because this is an oracle deck, and I feel like, here's her guidebook. Here you can see I've bent it and paged. I've been through it quite a bit. I love this deck. Because she writes it like an oracle deck. I think her words and what she channeled through for these cards is very important. So that is really what I want to focus on, her interpretation of these cards and these suits. So let us look at our energy card. We have the 10 of water. Look at that. It's like the happy, laughing Buddha. He's just chilling. The water cards usually have either bubbles or pearls in them. I love this deck. There's also a couple pink. They look like roses to me, though I really associate lotuses more with the Buddha. But this is just a happy, to me, very positive feeling card. So traditionally in tarot, the water cards are known as cups, and you can see them as having water in them or wine, but it's a deck that's usually associated with love, matters of the heart, and also matters of intuition. So let me read what she writes about this suit in her book. She says, water, it is the heart. And she says, feelings move things along. So this is definitely a suit that's tied to emotions and flow and intuition. So let me get to the 10 here. And speaking of water, I'm going to take just a little bit of a sip, because my throat is a little dry. So the 10 of water, what she says here is serenity, peace, good fortune, and well-being, which are all the things that you really think about when you look at the artwork on this card and look at the light shining on the Buddha there. Serenity, peace, good fortune, and well-being. This is a beautiful way to start the readings for this day, the energy for this day. She says, all is well with the world and with me. Well-being is my natural state. Everything I need comes to me easily and effortlessly. I feel joy and express it to others as I look around and see all the love that we share. I take pleasure in all I have accomplished. Whatever attention I receive or don't receive, I am serene, for I know full well what it took for me to get to where I am. I celebrate myself and all who traveled the road with me and feel grateful to Spirit for being my companion always. So she wrote these meanings or messages kind of as positive affirmations, and this one feels pretty darn positive, pretty darn like you're just wrapped in love and hope and gratitude, really. And this is beautiful energy for today. So I'm excited to see what our focus card is. Let's take a look at that. We have the Hierophant. This is beautiful. Now, traditionally, the Hierophant is a man. This is a woman in her deck, but it's got all the symbols of the suits around her. You know, we have a candle representing fire. We have a feather representing air. We have a cup representing water. We have this representing earth, like the goods or things that come from the earth. So a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. So the Hierophant is the 5th card in the deck. It is kind of considered a mystery card. I guess it's probably one of the more mysterious of the energies of the trump cards. So what she says, here is the guidebook here. She says, spiritual practice. When this card appears, it reminds me to be committed to a spiritual practice to ensure a conscious contact to my higher power. When I have a daily practice of prayer and meditation steeped in gratitude and committed to being a co-creator, life works out in wondrous ways. Rituals are in my highest good at this time. Exchanging vows is also highlighted. So this is a beautiful day. We have all this bubbling, abundant, loving, connected energy, but this is telling us, I think, to get here and to appreciate this energy, we need to have some sort of spiritual practice, whatever that might be for you. I have a couple things that I do every day. And I can't go to sleep until I've done them. Some of them are outside in nature and some of them are inside in my home. It's very important to me to show gratitude and to express things like my thanks or what I've noticed. I think that's part of a strong spiritual practice. Excuse me. And if we have those things, and not everybody might have those things, or like me, you might have been doing things for years and not really even been aware. I do this every day in this order, not like OCD, though there's probably a little bit of that in it, but because it's how your day feels right, or it's how you know you're grounded or connected into the energy of the day, especially positive things, you know, like if I'm out of sync in my day and I don't get things done in the way I like them, or if it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon before I do something that I normally do at 7 a.m., I feel a little out of sync, a little discombobulated. So I think this is telling us to find a spiritual practice, whatever it is for you, even if it's just 1 minute of focused breathing, where you just do nothing but think about breathing in, breathing out, and clearing your mind, even for 1 minute. That can help you get wrapped up in this beautiful energy, this water energy that's coming at us, full of abundance and gratitude and gracefulness. So this is a gorgeous reading. I'm excited about this Sunday. It's interesting that it's a Sunday because it's a spiritual day for many people, not everybody, but it's definitely a day that feels separate sometimes from the rest of the week. It's a day where people tend not to go out and rush and hustle and bustle. It's more of a day of grounding and staying home, or having that family meal, or hanging out with your friends like you always do on Sunday afternoon for a relaxed cup of coffee or something. Those things are important, and they're part of our spiritual practices as well. And they're part of the things that reinvigorate us. So, you know, find that spiritual practice for yourself. Practice it every day, and you will help bring in this beautiful energy of abundance and love and joy, and just the wonderful things about who we are living where we do. So thank you so much. I hope you found this reading helpful or connected with it in some way. I would love to hear what you're thinking about this card deck. I would love to hear what you think about these readings. I'm so grateful to you for the views I'm getting. My channel is gaining subscribers, so I'm thankful for that. So please like, please subscribe, please share these videos, please leave me comments. That way I can help this channel grow, and by growing I can help spread these messages to more people. And ultimately that's what I would like to do. I would like to help people kind of get through the energy that the world is going through right now. It's kind of raw and shaky and a little unsteady, and if we can find ways to help ourselves find the most positive path through it, I'd like to be a part of that. I also am just happy to introduce the concept of oracle cards to people. If you don't know what they are, I think they're a beautiful way for our divine creator to speak to us, or our spirit guides and guardians to speak to us, or our soul to speak to us, you know, in ways that we wouldn't normally hear. You know, it's not like a voice on the telephone. I mean, sometimes I guess it could be that, but mostly it's different things, like looking around at nature, seeing, gosh, I drove to work and I seen that eagle on that telephone pole 3 nights in a row now. Like, pay attention to symbols and signs like that. Those synchronicities are around in the world for you. A lot of times people really pay attention to numbers. That catches their attention first, like 11:11 on the clock, or 4:44, 5:55. These are the kind of things. Even 1:23, you know, those kind of patterns. You see them on license plates. You see them on signages, you know, along the highway. Those are synchronicities that are speaking to you. And these are the energies that we're trying to bring in to help ourselves grow. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. My name is Stacy. Thank you for visiting Simply Liminal with me.